Hello, guys, and welcome to Indie Thursday. I hope everyone is having a really good day today. And I do hope that, as we progress through the day, that everyone, stays hydrated and eats. But I'm just waiting for Specter. But today, for Indie Thursday, we will be playing a game called Stillwater. Apparently, we are an investigator, doing some spooky stuff. I just want to let him know that. But yeah, boo! But like I said, I do hope everyone is having a good day, and I do have a couple of announcements because, as you all know, I have started applying for school, and I finally got accepted to the college that I will be going to. So, yes, thank you. So I did get accepted. And also another good news is that my job gave me a raise. So I am actually getting more income. So I am actually like really happy, and I just wanted to share that with you guys, just in case if all of you wonder why I don't stream as often, but I'll be going to school in the fall. So just in case if you don't happen to see any streams for a while during that time period, it is because I kind of went back to school, and all of you guys are like a really big support for me through the tough times, and all the shit that happens. Yes, so homework streams will probably be a thing. um but I do wanted to let you guys know that only because streaming is how I connect with you guys and how I get to have fun and show that I love games. But Rhyme, you suck at math. I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm just waiting for Specter, as I said. Squibs! Hello, honey! Okay, so for anyone that is a mod, I do want you guys to put a little trigger warning for me only because I did happen to look up this game um, prior to like downloading it. I just have to like read through it again just in case to see what the trigger warnings are for this game. Okay, some trigger warnings for this game: shaking screen, abrupt sounds, minor jump scares, mentions of suicide. I just want to give everyone the trigger warning now. Also, if any of my mods can kind of just put that I won't necessarily be paying attention to chat, but like I'm still looking, like I know that y'all are there. Also, did my headphones just die? That's gonna be really funny. No, the music just stopped because it's being a bitch. Yo, I do my homework on this homework stream. Fair. But yeah. So those are some of the trigger warnings. The trigger warnings will probably pop up in the game as well, but I just want, you know, my mods to do something with their life while I wait patiently. But yes, so this game does have some mentions of suicide, so if you are a little bit uncomfortable with that, this is your warning now. And also, again, some screen shaking, some jump scares, probably like a lot of reading. So yeah, not me being a mod. I have like 3 other mods in this chat. If for some reason nobody pins it, I'm gonna be very upset with them. Where are my mods at? Hello? Excuse? Is Cloudbot not on? Thank you. Cloudbot is not on. Excuse me. The fuck? The audacity. Now I can do it. It's funny because you also offered mod power to me and I said, you said nope. Exactly. Give me time to look up content. You could have just looked up the game. I literally went to the game page and just looked it up. Spec! Hello, hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about you?
I'm good. I am glad you could join us.
Yeah.
I'm yelling at my mods because they're very slow.
Oh.
But you were in the bathroom, so I can't be mad at you. Because technically you are a mod here too. Honestly, how many mods? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I technically have 5 mods. Which, in theory... There we go. For the future. Okay, I think that is everyone that I wanted. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. So, you excited?
Yeah.
Alright, so me and Specter have never played this game. We know nothing about this game. But yeah, we're just kind of like, what the fuck is gonna happen? But I did read the pretenses. As I said earlier, we are some type of investigator. And I guess we're just investigating some spooky stuff. Yeah, just about. Alrighty, so let's get right into it, guys. I'm gonna pause this music. I'm gonna open the game. Boop. And I gotta make sure I stream it to Spectre because I always tend to fucking forget.
No, you're fine.
Don't be laughing at me. Alright, can you see it?
Give me a second.
Damn, he said give him a sec one.
Yeah.
Nah, do what you have to do. Yes, it looks like we're Constantine, which looks hilarious. All right, so since he's gone for a second, I'm gonna like eat my food. On and on. I know the art style looks really good. I'm also sorry if you hear my background noise. It's chicken strips. Of course the food's gonna be good.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Hold on, let me shove this piece of chicken in my mouth. Okay. Let us start.
If there is sound, I'm not hearing it.
There
Oh,
is now.
okay.
Hold on, let me I'm gonna full screen this bitch. Okay. Oh, there's self voicing. Okay. Okay, can you hear it now? This is just the music volume though.
Yeah.
Okay. Um Okay, that's how you do things. There's a break room. Hello? Alright, so welcome to Stillwater, I guess. I hydrated and I'm doing a posture check. Okay. I guess let's get into it. I gotta hydrate again. I don't have to want to use the bathroom. Okay. We're gonna get into it. Start. Alright, this is a work of fiction. The resemblance to any real-life people is purely coincidental. This game contains depictions of horror, mature themes, violence, and strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh, okay. I don't know if this is a male or female.
Yeah, same.
You know, it's okay. I'm sorry, but I can't stay here anymore, Nina. I feel like I'm going crazy. Be female for me.
Okay. Calm down. If we can just talk it out.
So many strange things keep happening one after another. Every day there is this damn dripping sound. I thought it was just something leaking at first, but I check every faucet, every ceiling, everything, and still, I hear it everywhere, constantly echoing in my ears.
Please listen to me.
Oh, but the water. That damn water.
Water?
Yes, it's everywhere. Pools of it are all over the house, and every time I try to mop it up, another will appear. There's no end to it. Ugh, but it's at night. It's at night when it comes.
What are you talking about?
I hear someone or something walking along the hallways at night.
Maybe it's just my grandfather.
No, Nina, it's not him. I thought it was, but it's not.
But
I've seen it! That thing! What are we talking about here? I only glimpsed at it once, but I'm more than certain that thing was not your grandfather. Ever since that night, I would lock my door and pray it would walk past my room. I don't know what's going on, but I swear it just keeps walking. Always walking on pools of water. Sometimes I hear them randomly. Their steps are erratic and faint, but I can still hear them. Just this steady pace up and down the halls. But I think recently it's no longer like that.
What do you mean?
Every morning, I follow to see where the wet footsteps lead. It walks towards something more clear more clearly than before. It would walk down the halls, climb the stairs, and turn corners. All of it, I'd follow. Eventually, the trail would come to a stop. And it would all stop right by your grandfather's room.
His room? If this is some sick joke to scare me away, then please stop.
It's not a joke, Nina. I meant when I s- I meant when I said that there is something wicked going on in this house.
That can't be true.
I know this is a lot, but you have to believe me. I can't stay here any longer. I'm sorry, Nina.
It's okay, I understand. Thank you for taking care of my grandfather up until now. And I'm sorry for all the stress I've caused you. I'll be sure to pay you right away as soon as I.
Nina, listen to me. I don't know what's happening around here, but the woman on the phone cautiously looks around, turning her head constantly back and forth, looking over her shoulder to find, if any, others listening in. She grips the phone so close to her ear in a vice like grip before speaking again in a hushed tone. Something terrible is lurking in this house. I don't know what it is, but please, as soon as you get back, take your grandfather and just leave this place.
Leave? I can't just leave everything behind. We have nowhere else to go.
Please, Nina, this place is not safe. The rumors, they're true. The curse is real.
My family is not cursed.
But Nina, at this rate, you and your family will.
Enough.
A pause. Cold and sharp tenseness strains the call as both women, exhausted and stressed beyond their comfort, try to stifle their growing frustrations towards one another, neither yielding to the other's thoughts, only leaving anger and hurt to fester through the silence. After what feels like a suffocating stillness, Nina finally sighs heavily and responds bluntly to the caretaker.
Look, I don't know what you heard or saw, but I can't just leave things like this. Whoever or whatever they are, they will answer to me. I won't let them have their way. I don't have time wasting my energy on this stupid curse. So if you can't help me, then so be it. I'll find a way.
Nina,
My grandfather is all I have left. He is all I have left.
uh, oh, excuse me? Dinner, 7. Who has dinner at 7 a.m.? No, that says diner. You know what? We're gonna ignore that. Amid a foggy morning, there sits a man by the corner of a booth. He drinks black coffee and, depending on his mood, occasionally orders a donut. And today, it was just black coffee. You wanna be our main man, Hugo?
Sure. Ugh. I swear I've never seen that amount of paperwork in my life. Freaking mountain worth of it. You're a valuable member of our team, Hugo. My foot. Starting to believe that I was bamboozled into joining their agency.
Hugo Laurent, age 30, takes a good look at his cup of joe and chugs it all in once. Hell no, I could never do that. He then continues to grumble to himself about last night's grueling work at the office.
I really need to find a different job.
As he contemplates his poor life choices, he looks out towards the early mist. There was something inherently terrifying about the fog to him, how it engulfs everything and nothing. Even if it disappears, it always leaves behind traces, proof of it remaining.
Even in a quaint little town like this, I can't even run from my fate, I guess.
Hugo finally stares at the compiled newspaper clippings he put together. Some of them from recent events, but mainly all were past headlines of missing person cases.
No matter how many times I see this, it's still just as hard to look at.
Fixating case after case, he can't help but remind himself that there is a reason for all of this. An all too personal reason. Seeing strange things comes with a price.
In the end, I'm the one doing this to myself.
Sounds rough. May I join you, Kuya? An annoyingly familiar voice interrupts his train of thought. He slowly looks up to see the one responsible, although reluctantly. Oh, hello, who are you? Good morning, Hugo. Hugo scowls and turns away from him. He then gathers the files and shoves it back into the binder. Meanwhile, the tall man takes this as an initiative and sits at the opposite end of the booth. He greets the waitress passing by and orders himself the hefty body breakfast special with an extra plate. As usual, the waitress is happy to oblige and goes back to the counter to relay his order. The man then looks back at Hugo. He sees the empty cup and the now jumbled newspaper clippings. All the while, Hugo is trying to ignore him. You really should eat something with that black coffee. Not ordering any donuts today?
I'm fine, Noah.
His name is Noah, you say?
I'm just not in the mood, okay?
Not even a little? There is a momentary silence between them before Noah disturbs it once more. Well, too bad for you. I ordered a big breakfast for the two of us.
2?
Yo, why does that look good? Hello? Tell me not them pancakes kind of look fine.
Yeah, they look good.
As if the world could grace Noah with an even more perfect punchline, the food arrives.
Why the hell did you order for the 2 of us? Just eat what you want to eat. Don't worry about me.
I don't know, it sounds like someone I know.
What the frick?
Wow. The pronunciation is there. Please help me pronounce this, even though the fucking pronunciation is literally there.
Makan Masarup?
Okay. I feel embarrassed to say it. Makang Masarup. Right, Hugo?
Are you even listening to me?
Come on. We both know that if you don't eat now, who knows when you will, and I'm not about to let you faint again. So open wide. Noah de Leon, age 27, a natural-born charmer. Is also the only person in the world who lovingly threatens him to eat every day. Yeah, sounds like someone I know. Come on, you cannot tell me if that food was in front of you, you would not eat it.
Man.
Exactly. With a pensive look, Hugo finally gives in and eats the generous spoonful without further complaints.
It's good.
Right? Good food will always help cheer you up.
Damn him. I got swept away again.
Oh, by the way, the chief will be out for a business trip. She mentioned it will be for a couple of days.
When did she tell you this? I didn't hear anything about it.
Yesterday, I think.
Yesterday? She told me to sort out the cabinets yesterday. She didn't mention anything about a business trip.
I guess it was a pretty sudden one. Well, I mean, she did tell me to tell you. And lucky me, I know where you go every morning.
You know what? I'm not surprised anymore.
Well, what do you want to do? We technically have the day off.
I'm gonna head back to the office. There's a couple of boxes I didn't get a chance to sort out.
In that case, I'll come with you.
Why? You could just rest for the day.
And pass up this opportunity to get to know you better, Kuya?
Quit it.
After their enlightening banter, the two of them finish their breakfast, pay for their meals, and head back to Hugo's car. As Noah opens the door to the passenger seat, he notices a bloodhound sleeping inside. Oh. The big dog stirs at the sound of the car opening and lazily stares at Noah. Aw, I'm sorry, big guy. He then closes the door while trying not to make too much noise to disturb its occupant.
Colby.
At the sound of his name, his heavy-lidded eyes slowly peek to see who called for him. It is his one and only partner, his human. As if finally realizing who he is or where he is, the old bloodhound stirs up from his sleep, pounces at Hugo, and proceeds to wag his tail uncontrollably.
Good morning again, Colby. Had a nice nap.
Why does he look so happy but then always look so depressed? What is going on here? Colby, 8 years old, Hugo's most faithful and loving partner in crime, has the biggest tendency to just sleep all over the place. Noah, who is witnessing all of this from the back seat, chuckles to himself. He is amazed and slightly defeated at Hugo's sudden surge of energy. It doesn't matter how many times I try, when it comes to boosting up his mood, no one can beat Colby. Agency, 7:50. Jesus Christ. Why is it so early? The three head back to the office. The space is just the same as Hugo left it. A decent, organized mess. To his credit for the amount of boxes he painstakingly went through, he believes he did a fair job. I'll bet it could have been better. Wow, you really outdid yourself, Hugo. It looks less crowded.
Ah, shut it, will you? Said I was gonna get to it. Thanks, boy.
Before Hugo could continue to give deserved head pats, he notices someone. A woman stands timidly, peering outside from the storefront. She looks a bit frantic and even more restless than her disheveled and ill-fitted clothes, drawing emphasis to her already too visible petite frame. The woman tries to grasp the door handle several times, but stops before she could touch it. Her brows furrow, agitated and distressed about something. So much to the point it is preventing her from just simply reaching out for help. However, when she finally makes eye contact with Hugo, she immediately rushes in. Uh, I'm so sorry. I know that the closed sign is up, but I saw you come in and
Are you alright, miss?
I need your help. My grandfather, he. Before she can continue explaining, Noah swiftly cuts in front of Hugo and intervenes, in an all too practiced manner. It's okay, miss. We'll hear what you have to say. So please, why don't you sit right over there? Noah gestures to one of the empty seats at the other side of the office. The poor woman hesitates for a moment. She clutches desperately to the strap of her purse, her eyes focusing apprehensively on them and at the gestured seat. After mulling over Noah's offer, she quickly glances back and nods. The woman then walks towards the corner of the room and sits at the edge of the sofa. Her posture is wary and tense, giving no sign of comfort for even this brief moment of peace. Can you start off by telling us your name? I apologize for earlier. I'm usually a bit more composed than this, but I guess I'm failing at that too. My name is Nina M- Morta Mortimer? Meyer? Wait, me?
Mortimer.
Mortimer, thank you. I can't read. Ah, hello, Mrs. Nina. My name is Noah de Leon. I am one of the assistants here. This big guy next to you is our other lovely assistant, Colby. And the one brooding over here is Private Investigator Hugo Laurent.
I'm not brooding, I'm just tired.
And our chief is away on business, but I think we can still accommodate you. So, how can we help you, Miss Nina? For just a moment, Nina appeared a bit more lax, more hopeful, maybe even relieved from this warm welcome. However, she once again tenses up. The guilt and shame come rushing back to her, visible by the creases of her brow as she once again realizes why she is here. I need help watching over my grandfather tonight. Tonight? Yes. I know this is a strange request, but my hands are tied on this. It has to be tonight. I'm sorry, Miss Nina, but I don't quite understand. Is your grandfather in any danger? I think someone is trying to take him away. Take him? Miss Nina, I think you should contact the police right away. They are far more equipped at handling this kind of situation. No, they're not. I've tried requesting their help, but they've given me the same answer verbatim for weeks now. They would send someone out to watch over the manor for the entire day, but by the end of their routine, they would always report back nothing unusual. They saw no one else leaving or arriving at the house other than me or the caretaker. And despite telling them all in detail about the letters and the strange things that have been happening, there's nothing they could do about it, but just sit around until it escalates even more. I can't wait any longer. Any more than this, then it'll all be too late. If only. If only I knew who Lewis was.
Lewis?
She lets out a gasp, Her hands shot over to cover her mouth, realizing she had said too much so carelessly. She tries to avert her gaze, but Hugo stares persistently at her. Miss Nina, who is Lewis? Are they the ones causing all of this? Once more she contemplates, her brows knit closely together as she bites her lip nervously. It's as if the words she wanted to say have suddenly died out, too heavy to even utter. A mistake she can't take back. Before the silence stretches further, Noah speaks to Nina with a gentle and reassuring tone. Miss Nina, I know it's scary. All of the things you've mentioned to us so far. No one should ever have to experience. Especially by themselves. And I assure you, we'll listen to all of it. I promise. Wild and manic eyes search deeply at them, just trying desperately to discern any doubt or mistrust on their face. However, all she sees are people who are willing to give their time to simply listen to her, to actually help her. From this alone, Nina looks to the side where her purse is and opens it. Tucked inside one of the pockets, she takes out a single, slightly crumpled envelope with a pigmented red wax seal pressed in the middle. At a glance, Hugo can tell right away that this letter appears to be a bit more worn out and antique. And yet, despite its delicate form, it remains well preserved, well kept. It's as if the letter itself was untouched by time, forever waiting to be opened. Grandfather has been receiving cryptic letters for the past month now. The letters didn't come with an address or the name of the sender, but this one is different from the rest. This had the name Lewis on it. As she hands over the letter, Hugo notices her hand slightly shaking. Nina is still avoiding his gaze, but he knows she is trying in earnest. But before he could reach out his hand, he senses it. A faint shift in the room, unnoticeable to the others, but all too glaringly clear to him. There is something very wrong with this letter. Suddenly, Hugo recoils his hand away in pain, like being struck with something sharp, so spontaneously, so memorable, that even if the pain disappears within seconds, a hint of it remains. Something so small, akin to a prick from a rose's thorn, or more like,
A paper cut.
are you alright? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you.
No, I'm fine, Miss Mortimer. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Hugo stares squarely at the cut. A thin red line starts to form, slowly by the top of his index finger, trailing down and stopping just above the first crease. A red so clearly visible it's taunting. That doesn't look like a normal paper cut to me. Let me get you a band-aid.
It's fine, no, I don't need one.
But
Really, it's fine. Doesn't even hurt that much.
Noah takes one good look at him before sighing. Oh, please help me pronounce this word.
Exas... Exasperately.
Thank you. And sitting back down in his chair, still eyeing on Hugo's hand. Because the way I would have read it was like exasperately, but like I think there's a different way to say it. But I think that's just adding a word or adding a letter, and it sounds weird.
That's fair.
Hugo shrugs and returns his attention back to the letter, but this time, luckily, nothing happens.
For it to reach all the way out here with just the letter alone is truly terrifying.
Carefully, he removes the content of the envelope and unfolds it. At first, it looks like any other normal written message. A person named Lewis is asking the other, Henry, to come meet him by the lake at midnight, needing to share something important with him. However, what's eerily striking about this is not the letter itself. Peering at the bottom of the page, a message scrawled, unlike the rest, stands visibly out to Hugo. A message that shouldn't be there. Remember our promise, Henry.
When did you receive this letter?
Yesterday.
And your grandfather, where is he right now?
He's currently back at the house with the caretaker. I promised them I wouldn't be out too long. I made an arrangement with them, you see.
Oh, what sort of arrangement? Or agreement?
Hmm. The caretaker we have now agreed to watch over my grandfather, but only during the day. Before nightfall, they would leave exactly at the same time.
For nightfall?
I wanted to believe that the whole thing was an elaborate scheme to scare my family away. I know this sounds crazy, but at one point I thought everyone was in on it. The mail carriers, the officers, the caretakers. Everyone had a hand at making our family suffer. But this one was different. Up until now, I've never heard of anyone by that name. Not a relative or family friend. But they clearly know who grandfather is. If I don't do something about this, I'll lose. I'll lose him too. Just by uttering the words alone, Nina begins to break down. The stress, the anxiety, the fatigue, all of it was finally catching up to her. Her body hunches forward, her hands press close to her eyes as she tries to cover the stream of tears running down her face. As an act of comfort, Colby sits closer to Nina while Noah fetches tissues for her. Hugo, on the other hand, is puzzled.
She said this whole thing has been going on for the past month, but something doesn't add up. Before nightfall, I think there's more to this she's not admitting. Whatever happened with the letter, I am more than certain. Certain that whoever or whatever Lewis is, they're coming for blood.
Oh shit, wait, there's actually responses to this?
I mean,
So
we still gotta take it, I think.
we're taking the case?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I wasn't expecting that. Do you want more tissues?
We'll do it. We'll take on your case.
For a moment, everything goes still. Their eyes and attention are solely directed at Hugo, whose eyes have a certain glint to them, now unwavering and more determined than ever. Before anyone else speaks, Nina stands up, wipes away any stray tears from her face, and walks up to him. You'll take it. Hugo simply nods. Thank you. Thank you. You don't know how much this means to me.
We're glad to help, miss.
Nina, please, just call me Nina.
While Nina, we'll do our best.
Nina smiles at Hugo and Noah in gratitude. Her eyes renew with a faint gleam, a hope that maybe things will change for her and her family for the better. However, before heading out, Nina reaches into her bag once more. She takes out a small piece of paper and a pen and hastily starts jotting down something. I'll be on my way now. I'll let grandfather know ahead of time you'll be coming. Also, this is my address. I'll be sure to greet you all when you arrive. And thank you again, truly. She politely bows to them and walks out of the office, already reaching into her purse for her car keys. Hugo watches from his desk as she goes to open the driver's seat. Nina looks back at the office window and takes one last look at Hugo. She waves slightly at him before finally pulling out of the parking lot and driving off. Once out of sight, Hugo turns to look at his cluttered desk. Still messy, but presentable.
Guess I'll have to sort these out later again.
The car, Jesus, 5. So we go from 7:50 to 5:30. What were they doing in between?
Chilling.
The fuck you, huh? What do you mean chilling? He said I'll take this case. What are you doing
Yeah.
for hours?
She said not to. She said the main thing was at night.
Oh my god. All I could think about is like them going home. Packing a bag. You read this time. I want to eat my food real quick.
From the ongoing downpour to the quiet hums of the car, they sit in silence. Still miles off their destination, Hugo constantly checks their rearview mirror to see any passing cars. But it's only them on the road. Noah, who usually chats his car off or his ear off by now, leans quietly against the car door as he looks out to the passing street lights, reserved and distant. He hasn't said a word to Hugo since they left the office. Hey, you're a lot quieter than usual. What's wrong?
Huh. What a surprise. Have you been looking at me, Kuya?
No, you idiot. You usually just talk a lot, that's all.
So, do you miss me talking?
Just say it.
Do you believe her story?
What?
Given all the things she's told us, do you think she's telling the truth?
Yes, I believe her. Or at least, I believe she hasn't lied to us. But you know, I can't shake this feeling that she is hiding something. Like if she left out certain details on purpose. Also, why did she have to travel this far out of town for a private eye? Surely it must have been another far closer to home than ours. I just don't know how to explain it.
Hmm. As expected of you, Hugo.
Are you making fun of me?
No, not at all. I'm just admiring your observation. I didn't want to offend Nina earlier, so I kept quiet until she finished. But her last name caught me off guard. Have you heard about the Motomeyers? They're a pretty distinguishing family that owned an esteemed fishing company. Well, they used to, I believe. They have yet to name an heir.
What do you mean? Shouldn't it naturally go to Nina?
It should, but I don't know. From what I heard, each time they try to name a successor, that relative mysteriously disappears. Gone without a trace, or so everyone thought. Their bodies would soon turn up months after. And you know what's strange? All of them have been labeled as accidents by local news. No foul play, just another unfortunate loss for the family. They've been struck with so many tragedies that over time, people began to believe that they were cursed or something.
Cursed.
I think I can understand why she wouldn't go to the police again. They most likely thought she was seeing things and went along with the procedures just to keep face. But deep down, they must have thought she had gone mad. I can't imagine all of this for Nina. And most of all, who knows what we'll find there.
Is that why you decided to come with me?
Well, partially. I am more worried about you, though.
Me? Why?
Think of it this way. I'm the appointed driver. When you decide to do some pretty reckless shit, I'll be there to drive you to the local hospital. Besides, two is better than one.
Exactly. I was fine with Colby coming with me.
Well, have you heard that three is better than two?
Ugh.
More, Mortimers. Okay, that makes more sense. Thank you, Molly. Arthur, can you read for me?
Yeah.
Thank
Passing
you.
through countless dirt roads and steep cliffs, the estate can finally be seen beyond the evergreen. Nestled away from prying eyes, it stands tall, magnificent, and classic. Truly a rarity only afforded to the privileged. And yet, with all its opulence, it looms from a distance. Hugo and Noah could only gaze at the sheer scale of the manor.
Yeah, I would guess at it too.
Its grand stature topples easily over the dozens of houses they drove past.
Wow, look at the size of it. I could never imagine seeing a house like this in person. It's almost too surreal.
Come on, she's waiting for us. Immediately after exiting the driver's seat, a sudden sharp pain weighs heavy on Hugo's chest.
Okay, I drank my water. I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm sorry. You know I usually try and make dinner before I stream. Okay. Grasping tightly at his coat, he begins to gasp for air. His vision hazes as he leans close to the car, trying desperately to ground himself. Like a fish drawn out of the ocean, he desperately heaves. The air in his lungs escaping too quickly burns as he feels his throat start to strain, drawing tighter the more he breathes. But this pain pales in comparison to a feeling far more excruciating. Is it the house? No, something far more sinister. He feels it. Someone is watching him. A piercing gaze fixed on him, like leering at a bug and waiting to strike. You want to read it?
We'll be together soon, Henry. What the hell? Damn it, already? I need to hurry or else.
Hey, are you alright? Noah calls out to him, snapping him out of his fixated trance. Colby nudges his head against Hugo, whining with concern over his partner's well being.
Did, did you hear that just now?
Hear what?
That voice. It was so close to my ear.
Is everything alright?
Oh, I'm fine. Don't mind me. I'm just a bit winded out from the trip, that's all.
I'd be happy to make you tea at the very least.
If it's no trouble.
No, not at all. It's the least I could do. Once again, this subtle uneasiness from Nina's surfaces. But before Hugo could get a chance to look further into it, she walked off towards the front porch without saying another word. Are you sure you're alright? You sounded like you were choking earlier.
I said I'm fine. Besides, we're already here. We can't back out now.
Listen to me. I think you should. Noah abruptly cuts his lecture short as he notices Nina stopping by the front door. She stands by the door silently, contemplating something. It's just like before, but this time she seems even more anxious. Whatever unease she tried to mask earlier became more apparent the minute they walked closer to the front door. I haven't been quite honest with you, Detective. Just like before, as if carefully choosing her next words, she decides that in this situation, words are not enough. You'll see for yourself what I mean. And with that, Nina enters the house, leaving the three to follow behind. Hugo is about to enter through the foyer when he feels a tug on his arm. Don't forget what I told you. If something happens, let me know right away.
You'll be the first to know.
I better be the first to know. And with that, Noah releases his grip on Hugo. They proceed to head in, not knowing what awaits them beyond the door. Greeted with a brightly lit hallway, Hugo notes immediately that the interior is just as grand. Adorned with flora accents and antique furnishings, the house itself exudes the word elegant. A classic a classic and rustic charm with the walls and floorings made from the finest wood. Hugo couldn't help but gape when he walked in. However, he notices something even more distant than the splendor. Behind the seemingly perfect veneer, an unsettling air wraiths throughout the house, leaving no room for doubt that the inside is far more terrifying than the outside. Please, come this way. Bracing themselves, they enter the dimly lit drawing room. At first glance, Hugo could not discern the silhouette situated at the far corner. Only the sparse lighting from the window pierces through a fraction of the room's darkness. However, as they approach closer to the silhouette, Hugo now understands the reason for all of Nina's unsettling vagueness. Grandfather, we have a guess. Huh? That's your grandfather? That is not your grandfather. Just saying. You don't look a day over 50. Sitting on the armchair is a very young man, not much older than Hugo or Noah. He is dressed modestly and shares none of the imposing presence of the manor. No, rather, such luxury does not even remotely reflect on the man before them at all. It's as if the flow of time had stopped only for him, while the rest had continued changing drastically without him. Just like the letter, timeless, delicate, and jarringly out of place. Staring only at the window, the young man sits there, dazed with little acknowledgement of the people around him. Still, motionless, like a doll. Grandpa, these are the people I spoke of. This is Detective Laurent and his two assistants, Colby and Noah. They're going to help us. Even after introducing them to the head of the Mortimer's estate, Hugo and Noah could not help but feel unnerved. The man before them is supposed to be frail and older than any of them, and yet here he remains, forever unchanging, forever young. They've come a long way, so I'll be making some tea. Would you like some, Grandpa? He does not reply back, nor does he glance at Nina or anyone else in the room. Only fixate his gaze on the rain, nothing else. I'll be sure to make a cup for you two. She then timidly gestures to Hugo and Noah back to the foyer. Bearing more questions, the two follow Nina outside. But before they leave the drawing room, Hugo takes one last look at the young man. There is an all too familiar air about Henry Motimer. His eyes, they're similar to his own. Whatever he must be longing for, Hugo knows it will never end well.
Nina, that man.
Yes, he's my grandfather, the one I asked you all to watch over. I know this is hard to believe, but Nina draws something out of her pocket. It's an old picture of a handsome man with slicked back hair wearing the finest of suits. The gentleman in the picture has a different air to him, one of wealth and power, none of which reflects at all on the current Henry Motimer. It's almost as if looking at two different people. This isn't much to go by, but believe me, they are the same person. Then why does he look so young? It happened a few nights ago. I was on my way to get a cup of water when I heard a loud thud come from my grandfather's room. I was worried that something fell over, so I went to go check. When I opened the door, I found him collapsed on the ground. I rushed to help him up, but when I did, he looked so different. He wore the same clothes that my grandpa wore that night. And his face, I recognized his face. He looked younger. So many things were rushing through my head at that moment, and yet I knew he felt familiar to me. I know it sounds bizarre the more I talk about it, but that's what happened. That was also the same night I found that letter. It was next to him, already opened. I'm sorry again for all of this. No matter who I went to, they either said something was wrong with me or my family. With everything going on, maybe they're right. The, the pools of water, the letters, Lewis, and now this? I've been ignoring the signs for years and just blindly hoping things can get better if I try finding solutions on my own. But there's not enough anymore. Maybe my family really is cursed.
No, they're not. Curses aren't real.
Detective?
think we easily get too involved in believing that sort of thing exists. In truth, the ones who fixate on it make it their reality. Rumors, doubts, lies, all those things are what they want to become real. Deep-rooted emotions like that can't possibly be healed or fixed right away. But like a curse, those emotions drag other people down with them. Personally, I think you were caught up in all this. But I assure you, we'll see this through. For you and Mr. Mortimer.
Thank you.
Good. Now our first priority is to find out more about Lewis. Mina, the letter you showed us back at the agency, do you have it with you?
Ah, yes, it's here.
Mind if I borrow it for a bit? I'll be sure to give it back.
Of course, but what are you going to do with it? I've searched everything on that letter, and I still couldn't come up with clues.
I'll be using it as a reference or a guide, if you will. I'm afraid I can't discuss too much of the process. Trade secret and all.
Ah, of course.
I'll check upstairs. Noah, you and Colby check the ground floor.
Got it. Before they leave to do their own investigations, Hugo grabs a hold of Noah's shoulder. He leans in, close enough for Nina not to hear.
Keep a close eye on Mr. Mortimer and Nina. Especially Nina. I don't want her to be dragged any more than she already is. So whatever happens, keep her safe.
Hugo, you... Fine, but remember, yell for me, okay?
I know. Thank you, Noah.
I'm wondering if Hugo's like a kind of medium. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's possible, but
Hmm.
it definitely seems like something supernatural may be happening here. But the whole Hugo saying that stuff isn't real makes me doubt it, kind of.
Uh, I don't know. I'm torn because it seems that Hugo, I guess, understands what's going on, but I guess he's kind of in doubt himself. Because in the beginning, he's like, everything seems so familiar to him. Like maybe something similar has happened.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm counting on you. You too, boy.
With a final nod at them, Hugo goes up towards the staircase and heads upstairs. Noah stares for a moment longer at Hugo's back before he disappears into the first floor. He then turns to look at Colby. Well, it's time we get to work. Right, Colby? Oh, there's actually elements! Investigations start. The objective is to look around the area for objects to proceed the story. Use the arrows or the arrow keys to move to a different area. Outlines will appear on a clickable object. On the top right is the hint button. Click it will highlight an object you missed. Ah, okay. So I guess what do we do first? Or where should we start?
Huh.
I wasn't expecting this. This is actually pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I guess I could click on Mortimer first.
Mr. Mortimer still sits motionless by the corner of the room, his gaze never leaving the rain. So, left or right?
Right.
Oh, there's nothing. They lied to me. Yeah, there's nothing over here. Oh, book flowers. Hello. Flowers or bookcase?
Flowers.
A delicate arrangement of violets and white roses. They seem to be fresh and fairly new. A large bookshelf stands close to the entryway. It contains a couple of photo albums and a few phone books. Okay. Don't see anything else. Hello, what did I miss? The fucking phone. An old rotary dial telephone. It looks like it's still in good use. The audacity, right, Colby? Frames decorating the walls are covered in white sheets, veiled with a thin lining of dust on top of each other. Whoa, there are so many paintings covering the walls. There are more like this all over the house. Yeah, my grandfather commissioned many back in the day. But sadly, he doesn't do that anymore. Nina, I can't help but notice the paintings are covered. How come? I did that. I covered them up for my grandfather's sake. For his sake? Yeah. He was pretty obsessed with them, you see. There were times when he would mutter to himself and would just stare at the paintings for days on end. It worried me so much that I covered them all. Since then, he hasn't stared at any of them. He just sits quietly looking outside. I see. About the paintings, I also noticed they all have a similar theme. They all had water in them. I know this isn't a coincidence since you've told us before, but if there's anything you know, anything at all, then please tell me. Noah, can I ask you a question first? Sure, go ahead. Do you believe in mermaids? Mermaids? I don't suppose I do. Why? Casting her gaze to the floor, Nina anxiously fidgets and tightly clasps her hands together. She then briefly sighs and continues. Well, there's a story, or rather, more like a fairy tale that my family has passed down. Fairy tale? Yeah. Well, it feels like one to me. It was about a fisherman who fell in love with a mermaid. Every day and night, he would go out by the shore to gaze at her beauty, but one day she vanished, leaving him confused and heartbroken. Determined, he would sail many seas for a chance to see her again. Sailing from coast to coast, new lands beyond and back, he would go. Not long after, fortune followed him all throughout his journey and made him one of the wealthiest and most highly respected in his village. However, despite all the wealth he gained through his travels, he never found the mermaid again. She would only be a dream, nothing more. And that's the end of the story. It doesn't end happily, but I guess there was a lesson behind all of it. I just never understood it. What do you think happened to the mermaid? I know it's an exaggeration, and yet I can't help but wonder. Hmm. It's hard to say. I just feel bad for both of them. Hmm? To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of sad endings. If it were me, I would wish the fisherman and the mermaid could see each other again. Or at least that's what I think. Even if they weren't meant to be with each other? Yeah, I think so at least. Come on, why does it sound like the Little Mermaid? She lived happily ever after. Shut the fuck up. Prince Eric saved her. I don't want to hear it.
Oh my god.
Dude, Ariel willingly left the ocean. In the fucked up version of the Little Mermaid, she technically never marries Prince Eric and like dies.
Oh,
Yeah, you've never read the Grimm's brother version?
no.
So each Disney princess has a bad version of their fairy tale. So with the Little Mermaid, she is granted the chance to, try and woo Prince Eric, but it doesn't happen and he ends up marrying somebody else. So basically Ariel ends up going back to sea, but I think the way that it went was like once she entered the sea, she would turn into sea foam. Like she just like disintegrates. Or I think there was another one to where like if she goes into the ocean, like it physically hurts her.
Oh.
Yeah. I think there's a which is it Cinderella? I think with Cinderella, what is it? She does meet like she does marry the prince. The stepmother has to wear is it like hot iron shoes or something like that and like dance like she dances to death or something like that and like the sisters get their eyes poked out by the crows. I don't remember how the fairy tale actually went, but like some of them have like really fucked up endings. Like I think with Beauty and the Beast, I think like she gets mauled.
Oh.
Yeah, like I gotta send them to you. They're really good, don't get me wrong, some of them are really good. I just don't recommend Sleeping Beauties. I think that's the only one I didn't like. Okay. Um yeah, I think so at least. I wouldn't want to imagine going through a journey all by myself. It's hard being alone. Hmm. A journey all by yourself. 11:30. Jesus, bedtime. After searching vigorously through each of the rooms, he knew his findings would eventually lead him here.
This is it.
Hugo walks towards the nearest lampshade and switches it on. Dimly illuminated, he sees the extent of how lavish this part of the house is. From the customized window drapes to the vintage furnishings, everything here exudes that extravagance. But much like the interior Hugo has seen so far, he finds this one in particular reeks of it. Plastered from wall to wall, a gloom lingers. It's as if the room itself is moldering, despite its preserved nature. Ooh, ooh. Okay, there's a couple of things to look at. There's a photo, a painting, a book, some papers, tea. Uh, the chest, the bookcase. What should we look at
Oh.
first?
I say start from left, like the picture.
Okay.
An old photo of a lost time, a sweet summertime memory of a little girl with her beloved grandfather. Atop the fireplace, unblemished and unmarked by time, hangs a curious and familiar painting of a beautiful woman floating on water.
Is she really floating though?
I guess. A leather-bound journal rests on the edge of the table. Its pages are torn out so haphazardly that the binding itself is starting to fall out. Scattered pieces of paper, all forgotten, lie waiting on the cold floor. Heavily etched markings are found scrawled all over the paper. A pristine pearl-white tea set sits patiently by, untouched and unused for quite some time.
Damn, not the tea set.
A classic wooden chest lies at the foot of the canopy bed. Its lock still firmly holds, safeguarding whatever is inside.
A body.
I like that. Meticulously organized set of academic books, ranging from non-fiction to geography, are all on display. However, hidden away from behind the vast collection are some children's fairy tales, all carefully kept. I need to hurry. I don't want to stay here for too long.
He searches and searches, and still there is no sign of Lewis. To Hugo, even if there is a fragment, a singular thread to that person, to their real selves, he could find them. But there is nothing. Not one thing pertaining to him. It's as if the thought of Lewis barely exists at all.
What is going on? I clearly sensed that presence from before, but it's gone again. Damn it, I wish I had more time.
So he is like a medium. It, like a. Oh my god, what the fuck are they called? I can't say like a paranormal detective because I know that there are like certain people in like crime units that have like a specific person that deals with like paranormal shit. I don't remember what they're called.
No, calm down. Has to be here. Just need to focus.
He ponders again, retracing every step and every little detail, hoping that he overlooked something. Yet all he knows is that the one tangible thing that connects him, that tethers so closely to this space, and most of all to Henry, is the letter. Words of promise, of love, all delicately etched onto a page, but tainted with a powerful and dark emotion that has been festering for too long.
Tainted.
From the very start of all this, Hugo believed that whoever Lewis was, they were the ones responsible. He thought he could find them and convince them to stop their haunting for good, to bring them peace and to move on. However, that isn't the case anymore. The unnatural force that binds everyone so closely together is this family is not the cause of an angry spirit. No, it's something far more devious than that. As he takes the letter out from the envelope, he notices a change within, bearing no foreboding threat at the bottom of the page. It looks just like a regular letter, or rather, what it once was. A sad and tragic love. If you can't come, then I understand. Things have gotten more complicated with your mother ever since she found out about us, right? I'm sorry, Henry, for everything. It hurts to see you so torn up like this. I would never hurt you or drag you along with me. If this is to be our farewell, then can I ask you one last favor? Could you keep my locket? I know this is selfish of me, but I'd like for you to have it. I'd be happy to know it's safe with you. My heart will forever be yours, Henry. With love always, Lewis. Oh, my heart!
So this was the true letter?
Wait, I love this already. Stop. A small warmth emanates from the paper, wrapping closely around his fingers, quiet and soothing. The fragment Hugo was searching for.
Lewis, I'm sorry. You're also a victim in all of this, too. Please, if you can hear me, I need your help.
Without warning, the sound of a click can be heard across the bedroom, as if something unlocked itself. Hugo turns his head towards the sound and sees the chest. Unlike the other furniture, its dark and rustic features have not been maintained well, left to rot on its own. Suddenly, he stops at the sound of a voice, a sweet voice whispering to him, beckoning him towards the fireplace.
Come here, my dear, sweet boy.
Oh, oh, oh shit! Oh no! Oh, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is in my room? Oh, it's a moth. Why did that scare me and not this? Hello? Please go away. I don't want you biting me at night. Uh,
Um,
you think I fuck around with moths? I mean, it's tiny. I could kill it later, but it's gonna fucking
just,
irk me.
just wants the light.
No, I only have one light. Actually, lie. I have three, but you can't count my monitors. I have one fucking big ass LED light in my room. I don't have lights in my room. All right, what are we doing?
Okay, should go to the painting, I guess.
What? Huh?
We could trust the red voice.
Can I quick save? Can I do a quick save in case it's a fuck up? Can I? Actually, I'm a regular slave. Yeah, 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 yeah. We can do that. Yes. Okay. Go to the painting. There, mounted by the fireplace, is a painting of a beautiful woman floating on water. Her pale skin in in can
Incandescent.
incandescent, brilliant, brilliantly prominent against the contrast to the dark, murky waters that kept her hidden, kept her bound to the canvas. Hugo stares intensely at the picture. An empathetic sorrow swells within him, disarming his very senses and forcing him to inch closer, surrendering himself to the sweet song.
Poor thing, how lonely you must feel. You are a lot like him, like Henry.
As Hugo approaches closer and closer to the painting and his mind screaming to run, he sees it. He can finally see beyond the facade the lady portrays for what the painting truly is.
But don't worry, I can take away that sadness.
A deformed creature, a mermaid, floats above the surface. The voice whispers. Large, hollow eyes stare back, boring deeply into his eyes. Her skin is melting, bleeding heavily. This black ichor as it gushes out from the canvas. Some of it starts to hit not only the floor, but at Hugo as well. The black, vicious tar clings persistently onto him, unrelentless as they continue to pile up. And then he feels it. What drew him intently to this thing? A deep sense of longing rushes through him, snuffing out what little control he had left. Finally embracing this nature. To come home.
Take my hand.
Without hesitation, Hugo reaches out his hand while his body leans in closer to the mermaid. She grabs and pulls him in. Not once looking back, he dives and follows after her, returning to nothing.
Fair enough.
Why? You are so lucky I loaded here. Yo, that would have sucked. Because I'm assuming there was no save. I do not save. Well, that's one end. Alright, so we're not going to the painting.
No, stay focused, Hugo. I won't let it get to me.
Preparing himself, he heads towards the chest and opens it. Inside, scrambled together, are bunches of notebooks and small trinkets. Hugo continues to rummage through when he stumbles across an old newspaper article. Young man found dead by the lake. Oh. An unidentified young man was found on the morning of month, date, and year, 3 days prior to his death, according to police. Ruled as a suicide, people have claimed that the troubled youth drowned himself. This certainly is a tragic loss, an unfortunate event indeed, someone comments. No claim of his body has been made yet.
Lewis.
Oh, please tell me this boy did not commit suicide because he couldn't love the man. By the corner of Hugo's eyes, he spots a bright glint buried beneath the clutter. He reaches for it. A locket of brilliant gold shines embellished, retaining a timeless luster. Inside, it safeguards a picture of a young man with glasses, smiling brightly.
This must be the locket that he was talking about. It's so pretty. I'm surprised it still shines like this.
I'm guaranteeing you, once it's revealed, it's probably like the most ugliest locket.
Not like that.
Nah, it's all a facade. A facade, not facade. Oh my god.
This picture. Did he put this here? No, it might have been Henry. Why would he store it away like this? What should I do?
Oh, you're fucking with me, right? You're fucking with me, right? You're fucking with me, right? Okay. Look. What are we doing? Because I
it.
okay, we'll take the luck.
Should probably hold on to this for now.
I'm telling you, look, I know we both never played this game, so look, I'm taking precautions.
Very fair.
Look, we saved scum, it's fine. Look, we already got one bad end. You really think I want more? Take it to him, please.
Louis?
A gentle but distant plea echoes in Hugo's heart. A forgotten. Oh, I'm alive. A forgotten ache of yearning and regret grips him deeply. Feelings not of his own start to rise like small ripples on a pond, wanting to be found again and remembered.
Don't worry, I'll bring it to him. I'll make sure of it.
Hugo is about to put everything back into the chest when he feels a wet and cold sensation crawling up his leg.
What? Water?
A pool of water relentlessly spreads across the floor, already seeping into the chest.
Damn it, no.
Suddenly, the lights shut off. A scream is heard, followed by I want to say myriad of shouts. Hugo is about to call out to Noah, but stops at the sight of pale feet before him. Not the grippers. Looming Looming over him stands a tall and ominous figure. It's Bigfoot. His face is shrouded in complete darkness, devoid of any human emotion. It appears as a young man, but Hugo knows that it's far from it. No, this very thing is trying to imitate a human form. Trying to be human. Hugo could only stare back. Paralyzed with fear, he is forced to watch the horror as it slowly creeps towards him. It's just like before, the sensation of someone staring at him from within. But this time, it's drawing nearer, inching ever so closely. The words to call out to Colby or Noah fail to reach out. Lodged in his throat, he struggles in pain. With his breathing shallow, he tries to force his body to move. But then it stops. Looking down at Hugo, filled with nothing but malice and contempt, it speaks. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I didn't even get to see what it said. That was fast.
That was way too fast.
Right? All of a sudden, the door to the bedroom slams shut and the entity disappears. Tension from his body finally releases its agonizing grip, and he gasps desperately for air. His vision blurs and his breathing is haggard. He staggers towards the door. He yanks at the handle several times, but it's tightly jammed.
I can't say that word.
Oh man. That would have been great. Would have clipped it. Would have kept it as my own.
No, like that.
I know. Fuck.
Noah, Colby.
To his dismay, he is only greeted with silence at the other end of the door.
Damn it.
Okay, you can say that, but you can't say fuck.
Yeah.
Crazy. From a distance, he faintly hears the sound of Colby's relentless barking as it gets further away from the house. Hugo rushes towards the window. He tries to pry it open, but just like the door, a heavy force prevents him from doing so. Like being underwater. His movements slow and drawn out, as if being dragged down by that thing. Fuck this. Frantically looking around the room, he spots a nearby chair. Without a moment sooner, Hugo grabs the chair and starts to strike the window. Hit by hit, the window cracks get larger with each blow, splitting off smaller pieces.
The hell is this thing made out of?
Still trying to catch his breath, he musters all the strength he has left for a final blow.
Damn, you just break already.
Clearing out the remaining glass shards, Hugo peers his head out to see any railing he could grab onto. However, he discovers instead that the wall adjacent is covered in ivy. Despite how heavy the rain has drastically become, he reaches out for it, grabbing a handful of the vines. Carefully, he climbs out the window, gripping tightly and making sure he doesn't lose his footing. Yet to his luck, the patch of vines he clutches start to tear away from the wall. Out of desperation, he struggles to find his grip on another, but fails when his hands slip out of reach. Can you say that?
No.
Shit! Clamoring wildly as he loses grip on the ivy, he crash lands down onto a thicket of bushes. Air forced out of him, he heaves uncontrollably, trying to even out his breathing. But even that is laborious. An immense pain spreads across not only his back, but his entire body.
God, I'm getting too old for this.
Yes, you are. Although his body screams out in pain, he forces himself up.
There's still time. I can do this. I have to do this.
With staggering feet and haggard breathing, he makes his way to the place where it all started. To the lake, where this tragedy starts and ends. There's no time? Finally entering through the park, Hugo calls out to Colby and Noah.
Colby, Noah, where are you?
He hears faintly the sounds of barking and echoes of people yelling in the distance. He rushes towards the echoes, guiding him through the downpour. With his heart racing and blood rushing to his head, he finds his way to the lake. Drawing closer, he sees Nina giving chase to her grandfather. Unfortunately, she doesn't get too far as Noah stops her. Grandpa, stop! Grandpa! Let me go! My grandpa, he's... No, Nina, it's dangerous. You'll get hurt too. I don't care. I don't want to lose anyone anymore. It's at that instant Hugo trudges against the water, pursuing in Nina's stead. Hugo? No, don't! Please fall deaf to his ears. Not even the whines and worried cries of his partner could make him turn back. Determined, he forges ahead. Nearing the deep end of the lake, he sees Henry Montemere gazing directly at the abyss. He looks even more frail and disheveled than before. It's as if all the life he's lived up until this point has begun to fray, draining every ounce of himself and surrendering it all to the lake. Before Henry could lean in, Hugo reaches out and tugs at his arm.
Mr. Mortimer, listen to me. Nothing is waiting for you down there, so please come back to the shore with me.
Motionless and unresponsive, he stares deeply into the water. The haze over his eyes is still obscure and persistent.
There are so many things we cannot afford to lose in our lives, and you're one of them. To Nina, you're all she has left. She needs you, Mr. Mortimer.
Hugo felt it. A slight jolt from Henry's arms, as if stirred by the mention of Nina. He slowly turns to face Hugo. Nina. However, just as cruel and violent as the storm, Henry jerks back, wrenching his arm away from Hugo's hold on him. No, all of this is my fault. If only I got to Lewis sooner, then none of this would have happened. He was waiting for me, was patient with me, and yet all the things he's done, I chose my family over him. He's gone because I didn't pick him. Henry backs further away from the shoreline.
Mr. Mortimer?
His manic eyes never strayed away from Hugo, as he keeps his distance from him. Lewis, I'm sorry. I was the one who dragged you into this. You deserved so much more. And I wished. Henry struggles over his words. He clasps tightly to his shirt, his throat dry and taut from all he had bottled up. From all those repressed and silent years of just waiting. Waiting for this curse to finally take him. I wished I had gone with you that night, Lewis.
Sir, even if you still cover that wish, it wouldn't resolve anything. Covet. Not for you or Lewis. I read what he wrote to you those years ago. He understood if you didn't want to come see him. But the thing is, Mr. Mortimer, Lewis never thought anything less of you. He said so in his letters to you.
His letters. For the longest time, I wanted to believe he hated me for that, resented me for that choice. Or at least, I thought it was easier for me to think that way. How long has it been since I talked about him?
It's been too long, sir. That's why you don't have to shoulder all that pain by yourself anymore. We can talk about it. About you and Lewis. All of it, together.
Hugo extends not only his hand to him, but a promise. A promise that Henry had yearned for so long. A way to forgive himself. He hesitates at first. What fool believes in a deserved forgiveness? Such a thing doesn't exist. And yet, despite everything, Hugo still reaches out to him. To a stranger. Maybe he can be forgiven. Just as he was about to reach out for Hugo, a hand slithers around Henry's instead. Its arms unnaturally contort around him, while its head perches on his shoulder. This thing. This Lewis is no longer pretending to be human. With piercing, cold green eyes, It glares directly at Hugo, mocking him, cursing him, wishing nothing but despair.
We can be saved. We can be forgiven.
Mm.
There is only one true way out of this. I will share with you the most happiest of endings.
Before Hugo could reach out for Henry's hand, he disappears into the water.
Mr. Mortimer!
Without hearing the anguished cries and desperate pleas, Hugo dives after him into the abyss. Huh. Plunging into icy waters, Hugo feels shock running rampant throughout his body, like spikes continuously piercing from his legs to the tips of his fingers, fiercely and unyielding. His chest tightens and his heart races as he begins to kick his legs, hoping whichever way he goes, he'll find his way to Henry. Swimming deeper and deeper in, he sees faintly a figure slowly descending into the darkness. As he finally gets closer to Henry, long snake like arms stretch across the void and grab Hugo's neck, violently squeezing all the air from him. He tries desperately to wrench its hands away, but with each struggle, Hugo's movements begin to weigh heavier and heavier.
Lewis, where are you, Lewis? Just looking for Lewis?
Hmm. Digging deeper into his coat's pocket, he grasps tightly in his hand the locket that Henry kept and had long forgotten, holding it out as it shines ever so brightly in the dark.
Ah, there you are.
It releases its grip on Hugo and instead reaches out for the locket. Taking this as a chance, he drops the chain and kicks with all his might to grab Henry's arm. With his heart and body screaming in pain, he swims desperately to the surface.
Almost there. I just have to.
As the light from the surface begins to blur, Hugo makes one last attempt to reach for it. With his limbs worn out and his energy spent, this is all he could do. Before he loses consciousness, he notices a figure swimming towards them, getting closer and closer. And then everything fades to black. Drifting along with what feels like an endless sea, Hugo courses through wave after wave, not knowing where he's going or caring for that matter. All he knows is that he's very, very tired. How long has it been since he had a good night's rest?
Ah, it's been too long. Maybe we should take that rest now. I like that so much.
I agree that you deserve it, but not here. I'm sorry for startling you. I just wanted to see you one last time before I go.
Lewis?
You've done so much for me and Henry. I can't thank you enough.
No worries. I want to thank you too for watching over me. And also, I want to apologize for my remarks from before. I really thought that I had things figured out once I found you, but you know how that turned out for me.
It's alright, Rhea, really. After all this time, I didn't think anyone could hear me. Especially Henry.
Lewis.
I was worried about him for so long. He always wanted to keep me away from his personal struggles, to keep me safe from them. But I was too stubborn for my own good. Honestly, I don't regret it. Any of it. Even if I could no longer reach out to Henry. Fate weaved its thread back to you, our tangent, connecting us once more to this very moment. And for that, I am forever grateful to you, Hugo.
You're welcome, Lewis.
From a far off distance, Hugo hears a voice crying out to him, beckoning for him to return. Well, they're waiting for you.
Guess they really are, huh?
Take care always, Hugo.
You too, Lewis.
With his eyes closed and his senses still returning, he feels the constant tugs and licks of a certain bloodhound, whining as he tries to wake up his partner. Hugo! He also hears another familiar voice, too annoyingly close for his comfort. Eyes shot right open, he jerks up. Confused, Hugo looks around before he coughs up the remaining water in his lungs. Are you all right? Noah starts to pat his back while Kobe continues to whine over Hugo.
What happened? Where's Mr. Mortimer?
He's safe. So is Nina. They're both okay. The police and the ambulance should be arriving soon.
Thank goodness.
Isn't there more you have to say to me? Instead of thank goodness. I swear, you don't listen to a damn word I say.
I'm sorry, Noah.
Exhausted, he lets out a sigh. He then continues to pat Hugo's back aggressively when someone approaches them. Detective Florent.
Oh, Nina.
There's someone I want you to meet. Behind her stands an elderly man. Okay, that's what I was expecting. Frail in stature, he timidly looks to the side pensively as he ponders to himself. Although his youth has long faded, his eyes are what catches Hugo's attention. They're no longer a piercing and fierce green. Only eyes, just like Nina's.
Hello, Mr. Mortimer.
Detective. I never got the chance to say goodbye to him. I always thought about it every day. What if Lewis lived on in this world? What if he stayed a little longer with me? It's because of that constant mindset it dragged everyone down. And I kept hurting not only me, but Nina especially. I was the one who kept hurting her, the one to blame for all of this. But you, someone that I've never met, still went out of your way to save me, not knowing my burdens or my faults. Thank you. Hugo reaches out to Henry and smiles brightly at him.
It's my pleasure, sir.
But before he lets go, Henry tugs at Hugo's hand one last time. I hope that someday you too will overcome it. Well, good morning, Hugo. You're bright and early.
Morning.
With much fervor and haste, Hugo resumes writing on his notepad. Although, by closer inspection, he looks like he's going to combust any minute. Are you writing up the report? Without looking up, Hugo responds back.
Yeah, for the most part. You need to write yours, too.
I will. But since I haven't had breakfast yet, I don't like eating by myself.
Amigas. 2 is better than 1.
Bingo. Wow, Hugo, you're really catching on. I'm so proud of you.
Ah, shut it, will you? I swear, if only I hadn't fallen off from the goddamn window, maybe my report would have been shorter.
Before Noah could begin to cut the bacon, he pauses at the mention of Hugo's report. Oh, yeah. By the way, mind telling me what happened to the Mortimer's window?
I broke it.
Well, that's obvious to me. What I don't understand is, why is it broken? Do you know how much it costs to repair a window like that?
I know, it was really dumb of me. I'm sorry. Besides, I told Mr. Mortimer about it before we left. Honestly, I was expecting an earful from him. And also the bill.
And?
Surprisingly enough, he said it was okay. Lucky us, right?
So what? You just called it a day after all of that? Thank you so much, Mr. Mortimer. You broke it, you pay for it.
Would you chill? Of course I'll pay for it. But each time I kept insisting, you just shrugged it off. Said that we already went through a lot for them, so this was nothing in comparison.
I mean, he kinda right though.
Ugh. You know what? He's right. After all that we went through, we deserve at least a nap.
But before he could walk away, he stops and sees a familiar person walking towards the storefront, carrying something with her. Good morning, you two. Just barely a foot through the door, a certain bloodhound stirs up from his resting spot and makes his way towards Nina, tail uncontrollably wagging. Oh, scared myself. Ah, good morning to you too, Colby. Nina scratches behind one of Colby's ears, making his right foot unconsciously move on its own, scratching an invisible but just desirable spot for him. Ah, good morning, Miss Nina.
Morning.
What brings you here this time around? Is everything all right with your grandfather? Yeah, he's doing pretty well, actually. Even better than before. We talked so much last night, I hardly slept at all. But honestly, it's been a while since I last spoke to him so freely like that, I hardly felt tired at all.
That's wonderful to hear.
Ah, but there is something else I wanted to ask the both of you for. To put it bluntly, I need your help. If you two aren't busy, I would like some company eating these. Inside a clear plastic bag are a stack of 2 boxes placed on top of one another. She opens the box on top and reveals a colorful array of neatly decorated donuts, all lined perfectly. No cramped or squished spaces. A work of art in Hugo's eyes. Wow, so pretty.
Donuts?
Yo, not me cackling that this guy likes donuts. Yo, my man said, wait, donuts?
They look so delicious.
Yo, I need canon art of this guy munching on a box of donuts. Yo, I can't. That is so adorable.
We're more than happy to eat these with you, Nina.
There he goes again with his donuts. Ah, but yes. Please join us, Miss Nina. We're about to have our breakfast too. Weren't we, Kuya?
Hmm. Always so brazen in front of others.
You do make it exceptionally easy for me. You both have such great chemistry with each other.
Second thought, I'm way too tired for this. I'm going to have to apologize in advance for this, Nina. But truthfully, I've been running on last night's coffee and I'm about to pass out any minute now.
Ah, no worries. Honestly, I think a little break sometimes sounds like what we all need right now.
Thanks.
Hugo puts down his pen and proceeds to head for the couch. Colby follows after him. Would you like to join us, Miss Nina? I would love to. I guess we save these for later then.
Yes, please do. Oh, come on, it's nap time.
Noah sighs heavily before settling down the food on his desk. He then gestures Nina towards a sofa in which she happily takes his offer and joins them. Oh my god, that's adorable. Stop!
I'm getting old.
I mean, you are old.
Shut it.
This is really nice. Aw, good boy, Colby. Come here. Nina quietly coos at him and begins to scratch at the back of Colby's ear once more. Hugo leans a little closer to Noah, his voice above a whisper, but close enough for Noah to only hear him.
You know, I'm glad that you came along yesterday.
Oh, what's this? Are you getting chummy with me now?
Call it chummy or whatever, but I really mean it. You hadn't saved us back there.
Look, I told you before. I'll be wherever you get yourself into reckless shit. Besides, didn't you say this was nap time? Get some rest. You deserve it.
You too.
A calming silence fills the room as they bask under the morning glow. No bigger parties or celebrations. Just each other's company and sharing the small reward. A small and warm comfort. Oh, wait, I loved this. Stop. That was actually really cute.
Yeah, cute game.
Oh, wait, this is what's the break room? Oh, wait, these are their voices, no? Oh, these are the voices. Oh, that's actually really cute. There's a secret achievement? What? Oh, these are probably the bad ends. Oh, this was a really cute game. I liked this. It had some spooky elements, which, that's part of it, but this was actually
Hmm.
really cute.
Yeah, it was very nice.
How would you rate this game, Spec?
Uh, 8 out of 10.
You know what? I agree. I agree. I definitely enjoyed this. And it's actually a really short game, which, gives us time to do other stuff if we need to do them. So, I hope everyone has enjoyed Stillwater. Me and Specter very much enjoyed this game. And as always, please be sure to keep in touch every Thursday as we play new indie games. So until next week, everyone have a good day. Damn, you ain't gonna say bye, Spec?
Wow. Bye.